the terms are already agreed for the rematch with you know, to move forward. And it's the same as the first contract in that respect. So I think we got it spot on with the numbers.
We always knew Chris is a good fighter. You know, all the fighting talk is fighting talk. He's a good fighter. I believe I can fight at 160. You know, if we don't do the rematch, which I'd love to avenge that loss, go back down to welterweight and win the WBC world title.
Conor, Chris delivered. You know, I say this before. I was like, whoever loses this fight is gonna tarnish the dad's name. Nah.
Conor Benn's recent demand for a rematch against Chris Eubank Jr., made on live television, has sent shockwaves through the boxing world. The call came in the aftermath of a controversial and emotionally charged bout that has reignited one of British boxing's most storied rivalries. The tension between Benn and Eubank Jr. is deeply rooted in history.
TV powered by Undisputed. Jonathan, we spoke before the fight and you were confident in your man Chris Eubank Jr. here. Tonight he gets the job done. Talk us through how you're feeling.
I feel pretty good. I mean, I thought he fought again. I'm the type of guy, I pay homage to both fighters. I thought they both put their hearts on the line.
Yeah.
I thought they both gave everything they had. And if they could have gave more to the crowd, they would have gave more.
Yeah.
I think the biggest winner was Great Britain. Just my opinion. You got two native people put on a massive performance just for the hometown.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get that all the time. That's a rare commodity that you can have.
Both fighters come from legendary boxing bloodlines. Conor is the son of Nigel Benn, and Chris is the son of Chris Eubank Sr. Their fathers were fierce rivals in the 1990s, engaging in two iconic battles that captivated the nation. The prospect of their son...
Let me ask you, Nigel, I mean, it's clear that you guys are very, very close.
Yeah.
The reports are that Chris Eubank Sr. isn't quite currently as close with his son as you guys are. How does that make you feel, and why is it important?
Well, I would like to stop you there.
Go
First
for it.
of all, you know, Chris, you know what, he's your son, mate, you know. Come be there, mate. This is a family affair, mate. We need you there, mate. You know, we can just catch up on old times, so it'd be good to see you there, mate. Coming back here, son.
Facing off in the ring stirred massive public interest, adding a layer of legacy and personal stakes to the encounter. The fight was scheduled as a catchweight bout, forcing both fighters to step outside their usual weight classes. Benn
looked at Chris Sr. and I said to him, grabbed him by the neck and I said, mate, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you turned up. You know, because outside of everything else, outside of all the noise and the promotion and the fight, your relationship with your dad never goes. That's always there. That's long-standing. That's without boxing. You know, what's boxing? You know, what is it? You know, because I'd pick the relationship with my dad over boxing any day of the week. You know, so to see them two, if this has brought them together, God, that's worth its weight in gold.
That's right.
That's worth its weight in gold.
Typically a welterweight moved up 2 divisions, while Eubank Jr., a natural middleweight, trimmed down. The agreed limit added intrigue and physical challenge, requiring each fighter to tailor their training and game plan accordingly. When the fight finally took place on April 26, 2025,
we have a result in the fight of the night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The middleweight contest between these two British middleweights.
112, the winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one to swallow, man. Yeah. It's a hard one to swallow. I mean, obviously, I didn't come into the fight thinking it would be that close. I didn't come into the fight to lose. I didn't come in the fight for anything apart from winning. And obviously, it weren't good enough. So I need to do better.
At Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, it unfolded in dramatic fashion. In front of a 65,000-strong crowd, both men delivered a thrilling, high-energy performance that kept fans on the edge of their seats. The match was marked by heated exchanges, moments of controversy, and what many saw as questionable officiating.
Walk out there, Conor can walk out there head up high, go home to his family safe and sound. The way he boxed and the way Chris boxed was unbelievable. We were just like, we enjoyed the fight. Do you understand? We enjoyed the fight.
I said it myself just on broadcast just now. Conor made the fight by keeping on coming, Chris gave everything. Chris Senior turned up on the night. It had everything, didn't it?
Lastminute.com. We call it lastminute.com. He turned up. But all I want to say is, oh my goodness, that was beautiful, man. We enjoyed it. Listen, I was shaking. Not because it was cold here, because the fight was just beautiful. I enjoyed it, and I'm happy to see a rematch.
Great to see you, Derek. Thank you so much. We're all happy to see a rematch. Whether they can go through another one like that.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
While Eubank Jr. was awarded a unanimous decision victory, with all judges scoring it 116-112, opinions were sharply divided. Some felt he had done enough to win, while others believed Benn's aggressive performance merited the decision. One of the most talked about moments came when Benn landed a powerful punch that reportedly broke Eubank.
That is really good news. Okay, let's get to the fight itself. I think I've just about caught my breath after last night, Michael. I don't know about you, but first of all, let's start with the Eubank reunion and the fact that Senior walked out with his son Junior to the ring. How real was that, I suppose, animosity between the two in the build-up, and how much did it help him that his dad was there?
Well, Jess, I really do believe it helped him, and it was the best atmosphere in boxing I think I've been to, and there was a lot of emotion around me. I actually felt I had a bit of a lump in my throat. I've got to be completely honest with you, because we know it's been a tough few years for the Eubank family. Senior losing a son, and Chris Eubank Jr. talking about the pain. A real pain is losing family members, and it was a bit like WWE. When the lift opened and you see Chris Eubank Sr.
Jr.'s jaw. The injury led to Eubank being taken to the hospital immediately after the bout, though later reports suggested it was a precautionary measure. Despite the injury scare, Eubank Jr.'s composure and experience helped him weather Benn's early storm and control the latter rounds. The emotional weight of the night deepened with the surprise.
Eubank's here as well, sir. You turned up to support your son. What a night.
Well, I was always going to be here for my son, irrespective of what you thought. It's a show. So suspense is part of the game. Now, the performance, championship rounds, standing toe-to-toe, the credit I'm going to give to Conor. I told you he was a superior fighter, but he shouldn't be fighting at 160 or 156. He's a 147 fighter. What couldn't he do around the world? He's been destroyed by the people who are handling him, and they have to be brought to account. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job.
It's great to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Surprise appearance of Chris Eubank Sr., a vocal critic of the bout due to weight concerns. Eubank Sr. had previously threatened to pull his son from the fight altogether. Yet, he made a dramatic entrance midway through the undercard, drawing loud cheers from the crowd. His presence was a powerful moment, especially given the well-known tension between him and his son. Conor's father, Nigel Benn, also welcomed Eubank Sr.'s attendance, calling it a positive sign for both families.
If he's watching this, what would you say to him?
I'm here. I'm getting ready for the biggest fight of my life. If you want to be next to me, like his father next to him, we can do it together. If not, no hard feelings. I'll get the job done for you, don't worry about it.
Do you love him, your dad?
He's my old man. It doesn't matter if I don't talk to him until the day I die, I'm always gonna love him. He taught me everything.
Despite their complicated relationship, Chris Eubank Jr. has often expressed a strong desire for his father's support, especially during major fights. He has publicly acknowledged their differences, but continues to view his father...
Let's get more reaction, shall we? And cross live to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where our reporter Michael Bridge is there for us. Good morning to you, Michael. You had an entertaining evening, I bet. But before we get to the boxing, let's just get an update on Chris Eubank Jr. after he was sent to hospital after the fight.
Yeah, very good morning. Yes, I mean, what a fight, what a scrap. We said all week we expected it to be a scrap. Conor Benn said he wanted that to happen, the 18-foot ring. And what a fight. It was absolutely phenomenal evening. Chris Eubank Jr. didn't attend the post-fight press conference. He was sent to hospital. Our understanding is they were precautionary tests, no serious issues, which is great news. I know Conor Benn did mention in his post-fight press conference that he thought he broke Eubank Jr.'s jaw. We don't think that's the case, and we do believe it's just a precaution, which is very good news.
That is really good news. OK, let's get to the fight itself. I think I just about caught my breath after last night, Michael. I don't know about you, but I mean, first of all, let's start with the Eubank reunion and the fact that Senior walked out with his son Junior to the ring. How real was that, I suppose, animosity between the two in the build-up, and how much did it help him that his dad was there?
Well, Jess, I really do believe it helped him, and it was the best atmosphere in boxing I think I've been to, and there was a lot of emotion around me. I actually felt I had a bit of a lump in my throat. I've got to be completely honest with you, because we know it's been a tough few years for the Eubank family. Senior losing a son, and Chris Eubank Jr. talking about the pain, a real pain is losing family members. And it was a bit like WWE.
There is a mentor and vital figure in his boxing journey. Promoter Eddie Hearn, who orchestrated the high-profile event, reacted emotionally after the final bell. Having invested considerable energy and belief in the fight, Hearn praised both fighters for their courage, heart, and skill. He acknowledged the intense physical...
I wish him well, you know. I know he's gone to the hospital. I've heard he's got a broken jaw, so I wish him a speedy recovery. I also want to thank Senior for turning up, because this really is a family affair, and it wouldn't have been what it was without Senior there. Like, there's respect. Obviously, we've gone 12 rounds together, but he's Chris, isn't he? Like his dad. So I like him as much as I possibly can.
Cheers, Conor.
Given the situation.
And emotional stakes that made the match so compelling, even as controversy lingered around the result. Now, with Ben calling for a rematch and public interest at a fever pitch, the stage is set for another chapter in this epic family saga.
Emotional, that?
Yeah, I'm just so proud of him, honestly. It's probably the first time that I can't even be bothered to give my opinion on the scorecards, because I'm just blown away by what Conor Benn did tonight. Respect to Eubank. I mean, he was incredibly tough as well, but I just can't believe the heart and guts. I've never seen a fighter dig in that situation with the size of that challenge, literally, and just never stop trying to win. Like, even in the 11th and 12th round when he had nothing else.
Whether or not a second bout is agreed upon, one thing is certain. The rivalry between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. is far from over. Promoter Eddie Hearn invested significant time and energy into bringing the high-profile...
When he had nothing else in the tank, he just never stopped trying. And, you know, for all the shit that he'd been through, and I want you to know that this kid, you know, is a great kid. He's an honest kid. And again, I won't go into the past, but to see now the response of basically him becoming the people's champion. And a lot of people thought he won. Some thought it was a draw. I guess maybe, I don't know if the majority of people thought that Eubank edged it, whatever. Honestly, like, after what I've seen in there tonight, could not be prouder of that kid. Like, we live for fights like that. And the British public loved his dad because he was just full of heart, full of spirit, and I never say die attitude.
A bout between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. to life, making the outcome especially meaningful to him. Throughout the contest, both fighters displayed tremendous heart, resilience, and competitive spirit, qualities that did not go unnoticed by Hearn, who praised their determination and the elite level of boxing they brought to the ring. One of the most critical elements in the lead-up to the April 26, 2025 clash at Tottenham Hotspur.
Mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that.
We know that your dad has had two very, very famous fights in the 90s with Chris Sr. You're, what, 3 or 4 weight divisions away from Chris Eubank Jr. at the moment, but you are 19 and you will continue to grow and you will continue to put weight on. What chance of you fighting Chris Eubank Jr. at some point in the future?
Oh, mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that. I'd love that. You could, you know, but there's so many obstacles I've got to get first before we can even consider that. Yeah. So far, it's just a fantasy for the British public. You know, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds?
Or 8 pounds?
You better watch out, dreadlocks. You better watch out, because we have come for you.
Oh, sorry. It's my mother's tongue again. It comes through. You'd better watch out, because we're not playing. We're real, and we are a terror. And the procedure will be parliamentary. Rastafari.
Spur Stadium was the weight dynamics between the two fighters. Eubank Jr., a natural middleweight and former super middleweight, typically competes between 160 and 168 pounds. Benn, on the other hand, is a career welterweight who usually fights at 147 pounds. For this fight, Benn moved up 2 weight classes. To face
is set at 160 pounds, but neither man can be 170 on fight night. Who's at a disadvantage here? Chris Eubank not being as heavy as he usually is, or Conor Benn coming up 2 weight classes?
Oh, wow. We are going to go on now.
Okay, time to jump in the sauna. Now the fun begins.
Eubank Jr. at an agreed catch weight of 157 pounds. At the weigh-in, Benn comfortably came in at 156.4 pounds. Eubank Jr., however, initially weighed 160.2 pounds, exceeding the limit by 0.2 pounds. On his second attempt, he registered 160.05 pounds, still over by half an ounce. As a result, Eubank Jr. was fined. Both fighters were also subject to a
Listen, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn was absolutely phenomenal. From start to finish, absolutely phenomenal. The storyline, the drama, the fathers, Senior pulling up at the last minute, the crowd roaring. This is the peak of boxing. This is the peak of sports in general. First of all, hats off to Conor Benn. You cannot show me a tougher fighter. That man moved up weight classes and was taking everything and shaking it off. He was hurt, still swinging. Chris Eubank Jr., great performance. He didn't just box. He didn't just try to, come on, man. He didn't just try to win on the score. He tried to take his head off and he couldn't do it because that dude was that tough. Phenomenal. America, we got to learn something, bro. British boxing at its best. This is legendary, instant classic. I would pay triple to see that rematch. That was phenomenal, man. Amazing. Hats off.
Hydration clause, capping their fight day weight. On the day of the bout, Eubank Jr. weighed in at 169.4 pounds, while Benn was at 165, both within the 170-pound limit. Despite the weight disparity, Benn gave an impressive performance, pushing the larger Eubank Jr.
Pro Boxing fans here with Nigel Benn. Nigel, obviously commiserations with the results. First of all, how proud of you that your boy, you looked out there and you saw 65,000 fans screaming. You've been there, but how proud is it that your boy got to do that?
Yeah, I'm to have his first fight in about 14 months, and now he'll be back on track. Right? Sometimes when you don't have a defeat, you just think you're invincible. So what he'll do now, he'll go back and work on where he went wrong. So I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about that.
For Chris Eubank Jr., was he just like wily old fox? He just knew maybe had that little bit more experience, maybe at this way.
Well, I think, you know what it is, Conor was winging him in too much. Didn't take his time, didn't use his jab more.
Throughout the contest. However, Eubank Jr.'s superior size and experience ultimately proved decisive, leading him to a unanimous decision victory. All three judges scored the bout 116-112 in his favor. In the build-up to the fight, Nigel Benn expressed immense pride in his son's commitment and fighting spirit. He believed Conor was entering the ring not just to win, but to dominate Eubank Jr., driven by personal and familial motivation. Nigel's confidence was rooted in the
and we can all move on from what was quite a tense period with Eubank Jr. and the weight in particular. Failed ped tests. There was a lot going on. Before the fight, the biggest questions were whether or not Conor Benn could handle the power at 160, what he would do with the weight himself, what his strategy would be with that. For Eubank Jr. it was how well could he make the weight? Was he able to perform at 160 pounds anymore, let alone with a 10-pound rehydration clause? There was a lot of chat about Eubank Sr. Would he be there on the night? He'd been so damning of the event in the build-up to it. Would Billy Joe Saunders be allowed into Eubank Jr.'s changing room to watch his hands get wrapped? We got the answer to that. Certainly he was not. He was definitely not allowed in that changing room. There was a bit of an altercation there, which was quite entertaining. Billy Joe always likes to go in and ruffle some feathers, but he was it was unlikely he was ever going to get in that changing room. It was quite hilarious to watch, to be honest with you. We looked tactically at the fight. You know, the mistakes Benn makes, the mistakes Eubank